This episode of the Star Wars Battlefront podcast is brought to you by Rage Start, our new podcast network, dedicated to completely video game podcasts. Our three newest shows are Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox Update. Check those out in the description below.
Pick your class and earn your battle points.
Because it's time for the Star Wars Battlefront podcast. Welcome to episode 137 of the Star Wars Battlefront podcast. I'm your host, Sage Goodwin, joined by my brother and co-host, Sam Goodwin.
Hello there.
In this episode, we'll be going over the Phase 1
Check those out in the
details
link below.
on the Han Solo season now that they're out.
Let's get started.
The Han Solo season is out, Sam.
Indeed it is. At least the Phase 1.
Yeah, part of it. Part of it's out. And it brought with it Jabba's Palace, Hero Showdown, two new skins, one for Lando and one for Leia, and it added some custom arcade stuff for starfighters. What do you think so far, Sam?
So far, I think it's I like the new game mode that it added, and the skins look really awesome. So it doesn't really feel like a season, but it feels like more like a limited time only game mode right now. But I really like to enjoy the Hero Showdown. I just wish it had more maps for it.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't feel like a season. It feels like a monthly update. But what they do have is fun. I love going back to Jabba's Palace. Again, I wish they added something new, but this is what we've got, and I really enjoy it. I love the map. Like you're saying, I wish you could play it on other maps because it's such a really fun game mode. I think adding different maps would be cool to vary the gameplay.
So Sage does have the patch notes here. It was a myth that he didn't, but it actually does. He does have them.
It's true. All of it. The Force. Jedi.
What?
So I have the patch notes up, and we'll go over them. But something I want to touch on first, though, is you can equip star cards and upgrade star cards between
while you're in the loading screen. If you just died and respawn, you can switch out the star cards.
Yes, and you can upgrade them, which I love. I've been doing that much more. It's reminding me that I actually have skill points to use, and that's always handy. So let's start off with the patch notes and what's been changed with the heroes and villains. Captain Phasma has been changed. Her staff strikes should be easier to hit and chain to an enemy. As they say, since it's easier to connect now, we need to remove some advantages on the first two strikes. We will still be keeping the incentive to land all three strikes, as each strike is more powerful than the previous one. We'll monitor how it feels and if it's strong enough. But Captain Phasma should be much more enjoyable to play. You've been playing her recently, right, Sam?
Every once in a while, just because, you know, once you win with the hero or villain in Showdown, you have to pick someone else.
Yeah.
So my third pick is usually Phasma. When you win like 3-0, then you have like no villains. You have like two villains to pick, so you pretty much forced to pick the leftovers.
Yeah, I like that aspect of Hero Showdown because it makes me be more familiar with all of the heroes and villains instead of just the two that I'm really good with.
I also like that if you don't pick your villain or hero, you get a random one to kind of mix it up.
Yeah. I really like that and how it forces me to learn new heroes instead of just, like in Heroes vs. Villains, I have that one hero that I want to be all the time, and then if not, I have my secondary. So I like how it forces me to get outside of my comfort zone for the heroes. They have reduced the damage of the first strike for Captain Phasma's from 150 to 120 damage. They removed the push effect on the first two, and the First Order Sentry Droid now progressively self-repairs after 6 seconds of not taking damage, instead of instantly repairing. Captain Phasma is actually, if you know how to play her, really good for Hero Showdown.
Yeah. I like how most of the heroes and villains can hold their own. They're all pretty balanced. Like Leia's good. Lando's actually good in this game, which is awesome. Han is pretty good. Like,
is Han great again, Sam?
I wouldn't say great again, but
he's better.
He is better. I like, when I went into it, I was like, the lightsabers are always going to win, but as actually they have a disadvantage because if you play it right, you can keep him at a range with the weapons and force him to approach you, which is awesome. Way, way balanced.
You have to be more defensive as a hero or villain that has a blaster. You can't just automatically go forward and start shooting someone because the gameplay doesn't work like that. In a bit, we will go actually, once we get to our actual thoughts of Hero Showdown, we'll go into the how we've been playing and some of the things that annoys us and some of the things that we really like. Now on Luke Skywalker, on the lightsaber attacks, they are looking at tweaking his speed of lightsaber attacks and the damage it's dealt because they feel that he's a lot slower in his strikes than the other lightsaber wielders. They are increasing his max amount of swings from full stamina from 8 to 10 to kind of counteract that, so you will be able to hit more before your stamina runs out. On his push, they are adding non-hero specific damage to Luke's push at 150. So his abilities will now do more damage against characters that aren't heroes, and his repulse has been increased in his damage against heroes from 50 to 75, and his dash, out of his dash, you can now move faster. So you can once the dash animation starts, it will end much sooner for you to be able to do certain abilities or attacks.
Not the biggest fan of Luke in this game. I'm not even really familiar with his moves, but I don't even try to because a lot of the characters you can actually cancel out of some of their speed moves.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool that they're trying to make that more accessible.
Yeah, Luke's attacks are just so slow.
Yeah, just like you can cancel out of a Rey's little lightsaber rush pretty much instantaneously. So that should be the case with Luke.
They have tweaked Leia with her defender pistol. Her alternate fire was too damaging for the short charge up time, and getting hit by it from afar was very frustrating. So they are reducing the damage dealt from 175 to 145, and they are reducing the explosion radius from 2 to 1 meters. So you have to be much more accurate in your hits on that.
Yeah, I noticed that playing yesterday. I mean, I think it should have a bigger radius, because it's really doesn't have any tracking on it, so it's really hard to hit.
Yeah, but they were having a lot of
but then again, problems. You don't want it to turn into the Lando glitch.
Yeah, exactly, and that's from my experience. It was kind of edging on that. I mean, it wasn't super bad, but it was starting to feel kind of like Lando in Battlefront 2015. And if you don't know, Lando had this huge glitch and bug where he could, what was it? The power blast constantly.
You could infinitely use it, and it had tracking. So if you stood on a mountain and just randomly shot, you'd get just infinite kills.
Yeah, basically. So that has been tweaked for Leia. The Emperor Palpatine, hashtag Papa Palps, hashtag the Senate, has been changed. On his health regeneration was too high. They felt that Palpatine was living too long when he was played, so they have reduced health regeneration from 300 to 250. So he is much more balanced now. You can't just keep on keeping on with the Emperor any longer. So that's going to be interesting to see. He's still actually really overpowered in
he is really
Hero
good.
Showdown. So it's not a huge change. It's just a thing to kind of even him out against other characters.
Yeah, he's still really offensive. And if you get a door, you can basically shut it down for them coming in.
Yes.
And he's really good in Jabba's palace because it's all enclosed areas and you can't really escape his lightning.
Yeah, you can trap other heroes in corners and just completely shred their health. So he's actually a really good pick for Hero Showdown. His dual-hand lightning had the same angle as the single-hand one, and it was way too easy to deal heavy damage on enemies without having to target them. So they've reduced his angle from 14 to 10. For Lando Calrissian, they have changed his X8 Night Sniper. Pulling the trigger on the X8 was quite high for a light pistol, so they reduced it to give the weapon a lighter feel on consoles. So reduced weight to pull the trigger of the X8 Sniper from 70% to 50%. This is basically just a feeling change. For Han Solo, he can no longer throw multiple detonate charges while being hit by a lightsaber. So that's a change. For Iden Versio, the shield sustain card now activates for the proper amount of time and sound properly plays when dodging. Just little things for her. On lightsaber heroes, lightsaber air attacks have been changed. They have fixed an issue where lightsaber wielding heroes could damage a deflecting hero by attacking while airborne. Now lightsaber heroes get staggered when attacking a deflecting character while airborne. For lightsaber damage, they have increased lightsaber damage delay from 0.06 to 0.09 seconds. So, not a huge noticeable change there. For classes, special units, and vehicles, they have changed the dodge. They are aware of the stun blocks from lightsabers, and we wanted to make the dodge stronger without making it as strong as it was before, so they've tweaked the dodge. Unified dodge links among force-using characters to 5.5 meters. So dodging now makes characters unstaggerable from the first frame and for a longer time. So they're trying to counteract the horrible stun locking. It's still present there. I was playing Hero Showdown and got completely destroyed because as Luke, I just kept on getting hit by surprise Palpatine's.
I think his dark aura stuns you.
His dark aura.
Yeah, it makes you all slow and kind of confuses the screen for you.
And then their buddy kept on hitting me with a blaster shot, so I couldn't move at all. And that's something that I just find super annoying that's still present in the game, especially for a game mode like Hero Showdown where you need that response time for your abilities to be more active and more active and have a better response time to abilities and just damage in general. It's so annoying when I get stuck like that. So hopefully they change that in the future, especially if they want to keep Hero Showdown going. Been having a lot of troubles actually getting into Hero Showdown lobbies as well, so that's annoying too. Because I love the game mode. It's just these tiny annoying things that add up over time.
Yeah, I had to sit in like a lobby for 10 minutes for my teammate to finally get in.
Yes. And like anytime one person leaves, you're not going to be able to balance the team unless someone on the other team or on your team leaves. So it'll be 1v1.
And I don't see how it's hard to connect to 4-player game mode.
I know, it's so stupid. Every single time someone on the opposite team or someone on my team has left, I have never been able to get someone balanced and added to my team, ever.
I also need to lower the time for wait. It's like 60 seconds for it to load in.
That's too long because every time, like between that 60 seconds and the start, someone leaves.
Yeah, they just need to start it quicker. And even if your teammate disconnects, I mean, it'll fix itself later, hopefully. But it'd be kind of fun to be a 1v2.
You think so? I think it would be so annoying.
And it would test your clutching skills.
Yeah, I guess so. But they've fixed the stagger on a few characters, not huge. They have changed some of the game modes, arcades, heroes versus villains. They've also fixed Ewok Hunt, which is weird because Ewok Hunt isn't in the game anymore.
Is it?
Maybe. What I think is the code's still in there, and should they want another quick game mode that people really like, they'll just add it with these changes in. Let's go into Hero Showdown, and like we were just talking about before, some of the little things that are annoying and some of the things that we really like. I really like the challenging gameplay and how that forces you to try different heroes or villains. And if they change just little things, I think it would be much better if they push it towards the fast game mode.
Yeah, I don't like crappy teammates and I like good teammates.
That's another thing I want to talk about. The other teammate. This game mode works best if you can communicate or if you have a good teammate.
But obviously not everyone has access to that. So most of the times you're going to be in random scrubs. Sometimes they'll be good. Like I got with a teammate. We played like 7 different games and we went like 15-0. Like we were destroying. It's so fun. Like we were destroying this team and they kept playing and then they kept becoming better and then they would beat us, then we would beat them.
Yeah, it works best if it's kind of like a tournament. So if you have the same people on the other side versus the same people on your side, it works really great. But sadly, with how certain things work, I've had some awesome enemy teams and then some awesome teammates, and then the next time it goes in the next match, it just completely shatters and everyone leaves, or one person leaves and I'm in there for 10 minutes and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to leave and try and jump into another game. And then what's weird is I find a new game almost immediately, or I have to wait another 10 minutes. It's so stupid. I really hope they fix that.
Yeah. I mean, is it that hard to find 4 players playing the same game mode?
Mm-hmm. On one map?
I mean, Galactic Assault is like 40 people, and you find a game like super quick.
Uh-huh.
And it's a new game mode, so you know a lot of people are going to be playing it.
Exactly. I think, because Ewok Hunt was super easy to find game modes most of the time. Like, I almost never had troubles with that. But I think maybe one of the big reasons to that was it was right on the home menu. You didn't have to go to multiplayer and then go to heroes and then go to hero showdown. Like, there's 3 layers to get to the game mode. I think that might be hindering the access that certain people have, because a lot of people don't listen to our podcast or don't watch Elliot or other Battlefront YouTubers, or even go on the forums to see what the heck's going on. So the only experience and the only interaction that they have is with the game, and unless the game tells you specifically that a new game mode is in there, they aren't going to go out there and be able to find it easily.
Well, yeah, even if they just spotlighted it on the main menu like they did Ewok Hunt,
exactly,
it would make it way more popular.
It's really annoying to have this awesome game mode that is super fun and then not have anybody play it when you need only 4 people. 4 people only need to be in this game mode to play.
This is the smallest game mode so far.
Yes.
Of all the Battlefronts.
It's like having a 1v1 game mode and then not being able to find anybody. It's on that scale.
That's another thing I want to see, is a 1v1 heroes versus villains.
Yes, that would be
online.
awesome.
It'd be awesome if they had tiers. You could have 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, 4v4. Wouldn't that be amazing? It would kind of split.
It would split the community too much.
The fan base for that, but that would be an awesome option.
Maybe a limited time game mode.
Yeah, a solo showdown would be awesome.
Yes, it would be. So that's something I really want them to tweak and help with. Promote the game more in the game. Don't push it to the forums that 15% of the community go to. Don't push it to Twitter where maybe 40% of the community go to. Put it in the game so people who play the game can see it. 100% of the people playing the game are going to see it if it's in the game.
Yeah.
So that's something I want to see changed. Just show people this awesome game mode, because I really enjoy it. I hope that they continue working on it, and I hope that they promote it more, because it's a really fun game mode that I want to see more maps for. It's a fun game mode that I want to be able to get into games with and have balancing that actually works. Because the balancing so far, every time that it's stalled, I've never been able to replenish my teammate if I've lost it, or the other team hasn't been able to replenish their teammate.
That's the thing you're going to run into. Someone's going to quit, then you either have to just stick it out or quit. I mean, that's why it's more ideal to just have a teammate in your party and join, so you know that half of the game mode is going to be reliable and going to be able to play that. But I really want to jump in a party with 4 people and then just play 2v2 with everyone you know.
Yes,
that'd be awesome.
Definitely. I think this is the game mode that we will be playing with you, the listener, consistently, because I would love to have maybe every Sunday or so have a time where we jump on and play some Hero Showdown, because it works perfectly when you have people that you can talk to and just have fun with, because it's such a fun game mode. That's it for this episode of the Star Wars Battlefront Podcast. I'm your host, Sage Goodwin.
I'm Sam Goodwin.
You can follow us on Twitter at SWBP Podcast.
Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/the Star Wars Battlefront Podcast.
You can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/Battlefront Podcast, or through PayPal, paypal.me/TieDyeSheep, TYEDYESHEEP. We'd really appreciate it. Anything helps. Another way to support us completely free is leaving a review on iTunes, and that helps us out a ton. One, it helps us get feedback from you. 2, it helps other people see that the podcast is being enjoyed. And 3, it lets iTunes know that people are enjoying the podcast enough to leave reviews. So it helps us out a ton.
If you want to contact us, our email is battlefrontpodcast@gmail.com.
And you can listen to the show on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. As always,
Thanks for listening.
and may the Force be with you.
So you got the patch notes right there, little buckaroo.
I do have the patch notes, Sam. Thanks for bringing that up, man. Perfect segue.